Hey everyone, Django Fett here with my final list for the TV shows of 2024 that I enjoyed. So if you haven't seen my previous two 24 lists, which is the movies and video games, go check that out. Links in the description down below. This will be my final list for 2024. This will deal with my top 10 TV shows of 2024, as well as my 5 worst TV shows of 2024, which I'll get into towards the end. And of course, I have to give this disclaimer is that I will talk about shows from 2024 that I enjoyed and watched. This might include TV shows from previous years, who knows. This is my personal list, so if you feel differently, let me know yours in the comment section below. Also, this is not going to be in any particular order from best to worst. This is just going to be in random order of when they just came out, so I will just briefly mention those from the release date that they came out from 2024. So I have to give an honorable mention to Avatar: The Last Airbender, the 2007 series. I actually watched it, the entirety of that series, and loved the shit out of it. I've actually never watched the entire thing. I think I watched up to Earth, and then that was it. I think that was the second season. I never watched it the whole way through, and then I finally got a chance to see it because, you know, the Avatar live action was coming out, so I prepared in advance, and I watched the entire series. I freaking loved it. I absolutely loved it, and I can't believe I just never watched the series in its entirety before. But it's great. It was just a fantastic show and super memorable to me and from my childhood. And just re-seeing it again, I had a great time watching it. So we're going to start off with What If Season 2. This is the spin-off Marvel animated TV series, which deals with a bunch of Disney characters from their own What If storylines. This actually continues from Season 1 to Season 2, many of the storylines. And I thought it was really enjoyable once again. And this would be actually the final show that I would see on Disney Plus before I canceled it altogether because I thought it was just completely useless for me. Maybe I quit it at a wrong time because X-Men 97 also came out, but I wanted to see X-Men the entire live action series before watching that. Couldn't do that, of course. That was just too much. Or What If Season 2 is still a great, animated series and continues the awesomeness of the random animated TV series of What If. So this is like the Star Wars equivalent of the Visions TV series, and this kind of continues that with the Marvel with the What If. So it's something like that. Next is Has Been Hotel. This one just came out of nowhere for me. This was on Amazon Prime. People were talking about this. I decided to watch it. I absolutely love the animation, and usually I hate musicals a lot. But this one has some of the catchiest musicals ever, greatly written, and had some quirky and funny humor behind it. It was just a really fun TV series, and they're gonna continue this again, with another season. And I loved this. I thought this was like my favorite animated TV series of this year or of 2024. It was just super fun, super funny. Got lots of style to it. I love the animation. There was just so much to love about this. And, I had to rewatch this a second time. I just absolutely love the TV show. So I can't wait for Season 2 of this. Tokyo Vice Season 2. I was expecting this show to be not happening for a while. And then it finally happened. They actually resurrected this back. And I was pleasantly surprised because I love Season 1. Season 2 continues that, of that grittiness of the Yakuza and tracking them and trying to stop them using the press with the American writer, forget his name, but American writer, as well as the cops trying to work together to take down the Yakuza who are just going on a rampage. And this continues that season from Season 1. There was so much news about Season 2 not happening for a while, so I was getting super worried because they just left it off on a cliffhanger for Season 1. But Season 2 finishes that arc. I hope they can do another season because Tokyo Vice as a whole, I love that show. So I hope there's a Season 3. I don't know what they'll do from that because I think it concludes that storyline for the Yakuza. There could be more stuff, I don't know. But they left it off on a brilliant note, and I love this. I thought this was a fantastic, gritty, crime thriller TV series, and I absolutely recommend you watch this series if you haven't already on HBO Max. Next is Invincible Season 2. So this one was a weird one. This was split off from 2023 to 2024, from part 1 to part 2. it was just a stupid idea, and I wish they didn't do that at all. If you're gonna release a whole season, just release it the entire year. Don't split it off. That's bullshit. I hate that shit. And this is why this is like really low. Well, it's not super low, but it's like mid on my list. It could have been so much better, but it just, because of the release date, it ruins it. Like, you didn't need to have this happen. If you like, I just hate how, you know, studios do this shit. They split up part 1 and then part 2 like later in the year. Don't do that shit. Just release it all and be done with it. Nobody wants to do this shit. But it was still a good season. I still enjoyed it. There was still like some crazy shit that happened within Invincible. And it's not a better storyline than season 1 in my opinion, but it still is really interesting to see where they'll go with the other Viltrumites, you know, in the galaxy, what they'll do against them, with Invincible against them, and if he's going to have some help in that regard. So we'll see what happens. It's still really fun. TV series, really gritty, really violent and bloody, and just really crazy. So can't wait for season 3, and you know, now it's going to be, you know, all together, so it's not going to be split off in part 1 and part 2, so that's a good thing. Next is Shogun. So I've actually been listening to the audiobook for this and really enjoying it, and it's super accurate to the TV series. The mini series as it is, I think it's like 6 to 8 episodes. I'll make a correction on here, but it was a fantastic TV series. This came out of nowhere on Hulu, fucking all places. Who would have thought? But this was fantastic. I wasn't sure how I'd think about this, but I actually really enjoyed this TV series. And now, because of the success of this, they want to do another spin-off of this, which makes no sense whatsoever. But I like the show, but then they just cut off the entirety of a battle towards the end of the show, which I didn't like. But I thought it was a good overall show. It definitely is like a Game of Thrones Japanese take on it. And having it based on the original book and being fantastic, just like the book itself. I mean, credit to the writers for doing this. And the performances are fantastic. The only performance I didn't like is the actual Englishman. I forget his name, but I wasn't a big fan of him. I wasn't really sold with him. You could have really gotten anybody, and I would have been sold on that guy. But this guy, I just really wasn't really sold with. But other than that, I think it's still a great TV series. It definitely won all the awards, good for them for this show, because it really showed. It's still a fantastic TV series. I don't know how I'll feel about a spin-off TV series. I really think that's a horrible idea, because this is a self-contained show and or book, and it shouldn't have like more seasons of this. It makes no sense whatsoever. We'll see, but I'm not really expecting many good things about it. Next is the Fallout TV series. Another big surprise for me is the Fallout TV show. So it came out on Amazon Prime, and I was kind of expecting it to be medium, like not so great, but it was actually exceeded my expectations for this, and I actually really liked the trailer. Pleasantly surprised by it, and this show just blew me away. The accuracies it took for the video games to here, this is just a Fallout fan's just wet dream right here. It's not super faithful, but it definitely is. It's definitely sets up for more things to come for season 2 and 3, because it was a big time success for these for the Fallout franchise, and a lot of people loved it, myself included. And here's to seeing how they'll do with the season 2 and season 3 of this show, because they did a wonderful job with season 1, and we'll see. And I think they're setting up for like a New Vegas and maybe other creatures like Death Claws and super mutants down the road. I think that'd be super fucking amazing. And they have the writers behind, I think it was, God, I'm blanking on it. I'll put it right here. But I think they did like Westworld and stuff like that. The writers behind that show came to here, and they just did a phenomenal job with creating their own mini Fallout story within here, and I just cannot stop raving about it. Next is The Penguin. Now this show, I didn't think it was a good idea at all. Like, this didn't need to happen for me, and I was another surprise. Like, there's a lot of surprises for me, And this was another one of them, is the Penguin. I just didn't know how I'd feel about this. Like, just the idea of this didn't seem like something I would be sold on. But I love the Penguin. I love the performance behind the actor for the Penguin, and I love the other villain that he's facing off against. Blanking on the name right now, but she was also great. They both had great performances. The writing was fantastic. It was definitely like no one wins in the end. Like everybody loses, but it's like it really shows that the Penguin is still an evil son of a bitch in the end. Like, you really sympathize for him, you get that, but it still shows you that he's still a villain. This guy is not a good guy. And the ending, like, you really were really rooting for him until the ending happened, and you're just like, okay, yeah, he's a villain. Yeah, you totally see that. I think this is great as a little mini series, but I don't want any more seasons of this. Maybe do another villain like Scarecrow or Hush would be a fantastic one. Do someone different this time around within the the Batman DC universe. I think that would be fantastic to see. Next is The Legend of Vox Machina Season 3. I was waiting for this show all year, and I was wondering what the hell was going on, because usually they come out, the seasons for The Legend of Vox Machina come out early in the year, like January, February, I think maybe even March, but usually January, February. This one was delayed all the way up to, I think, October, November, I'm going to say. There was a major delay, and there was still no reason why that was delayed. Maybe I'll find something right here. But I was super worried. I was like, what the hell's going on? I have to wait like another year just for season 3 and stuff. But it finally came out. And I think the reason is because of Lance Reddick, and rest in peace, Lance Reddick. He passed away. And I think there might have been some things in the background that happened. I'll find the exact reason here, and I'll just post it here so you guys know. So this one concludes the Chroma Conclave arc, which I've been waiting for. And now I'm going to watch Critical Role just to compare with it. But they take everything from the Critical Role Campaign 1 into here. This concludes the Chroma Conclave amazing arc. And I love this show, man. I absolutely love this show. There's so many shows that I love for 2024. But this one is just like, just to conclude the Chroma Conclave arc was awesome. And it was so fucking epic. They just know how to make an amazing epic from Critical Role to here. And there's still so much to go for campaign 1, I think. And I think that's what they want to conclude for The Legend of Vox Machina. So I can't wait for more seasons of this, like season 4, season 5. I don't care. I absolutely love this show. Just keep this going, because this is just absolutely fantastic. It's just a great role-playing inspired adventure from Critical Role to here, and all the voice actors from their characters from Critical Role to here. It's just super awesome to see, and I just absolutely love it. Next is Dune Prophecy Season 1, because we're going to have multiple seasons, unfortunately. I expected this to be like a self-contained miniseries, and then that's it. But at the end of this, they announced Season 2, which I'm not a fan of. So, Season 1, I'll go into my thoughts in a separate review, and give you guys a review for that separately. I wasn't a big fan of it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. There's a lot of problems with it. It's really boring at times, and I think most people are not going to like it. But it was fine. I think Dune fans are going to enjoy it a lot more than everybody else. There are some things to like from there that you're going to pull from the lore to here to the TV show. But it was all right in the end. I did like Travis Fimmel. I think that's his name. He did a great job. I think he was my favorite character in the show. But everybody else, not so much. I think 50% of the cast, I just like half of the arcs I liked. The other half I wasn't a big fan of. But I expected this to be this self-contained miniseries about the Sisterhood. They originally called it Dune Sisterhood, I think, and then they changed it to Dune Prophecy. Don't know why they changed that titling. I have no idea. But Dune Prophecy is what it's called now, and it focuses on the Sisterhood of Dune. And they are essentially not good guys. They're not good girls. They are a bad faction. They are not good whatsoever. But they want to portray themselves as trying to set the path to the Empire for their own reasons. Like, they want to do it their own way. and set the universe in their own emotions for the benefit of themselves, or their galaxy, or how they perceive it. It's still so crazy, but it definitely shows the sisterhood and how you would perceive the sisterhood as evil sons of bitches. I don't know how they're gonna do with season 2 and season 3, I guess, and how they're gonna drag this on to continue the series. But I hope it's not for too long, because I just don't know if this show can last and people will actually watch it. And the last show on my list is Squid Game season 2. No, it's not better than season 1. Let's just say that right off the bat. It's still a good season. I enjoyed it. But it ends on a major cliffhanger that just sets up for season 3, which is not cool in my opinion. I don't like that. And there's a lot of story arcs that just didn't need to happen. It just like went nowhere. The fact that they did all that, and then it's just like, oh, wait till season 3, and hopefully it comes out next year or something, or 2025. They better, because they can't just. I don't want to wait like another 2 years before this show continues. But the fact that it ends on such a cliffhanger like that and just doesn't continue it, like have like 10 episodes and then finish it, but they want to just drag this on, and I just think it just. I just don't like it. But I thought it was a good season. It was a well-written show, but I just think the ending just really took me out of it. So let's get into the final 5 TV shows of 2024 that I hated. So a couple of these that I'm going to mention that I haven't finished or just haven't even watched whatsoever, but fuck it, I'm just going to put it on my list regardless. So the first one is True Detective Season 4. I've only watched True Detective Season 1, and I was just kind of curious to see what they'll do with True Detective, because it hasn't been good for a while. Season 2, Season 3, I've heard just bad things, and I've never even bothered to watch it. And then Season 4 comes out. I was kind of interested because it was Jodie Foster. It's set in, like, I think it was Alaska, and it's going to be, like, murders in the cold and stuff like that. And this first episode, towards the end, just kind of like I could see where they were going, and I was kind of looking forward to see what they were going with that. But they went fucking nowhere in the first half of the show, and I couldn't even fucking finish it. It was so fucking boring. It didn't go anywhere, and it was focused on Jodie Foster as well as this other set of characters I don't really give a shit about. And it goes fucking nowhere. And it was just so bad I couldn't even fucking finish it. It was just so fucking boring and poorly written. I did like Jodie Foster's character, but I just didn't care about anything else. Next is Avatar: The Last Airbender, the live-action TV series. Nowhere near as good as the animated series at all. They just try to recreate it and try to do some changes, but it just didn't need to fucking happen. I thought this would be somewhat akin to how they did with the One Piece TV series, so I was super excited for this to see how they will do with the Avatar treatment. But they failed. They just did a horrible job. It was so boring. There were some things I liked about it, but it was just not a very compelling TV show at all. And I would not recommend watching it. If you're an Avatar fan, stay the hell away from this. We'll see with Season 2 and Season 3. I'm curious with Season 2 to see how they will do with this. But so far, I'm not convinced with this show. I think it's a poor imitation of the animated series in every single facet, man. Next is Halo Season 2. Thankfully, the Halo TV series has been canceled, so after Season 2, that's it. So the fact that this show continued with a Season 2, baffles my mind. I guess people were watching it or something, or hate watching it. But Season 1 sucked, and I never even watched Season 2. Heard horrible things about it. I heard it's even actually worse than Season 1. There are some good moments from what I heard, but most of it is just trash. So another live action TV series, video game TV series that just didn't just poorly handled, and the writers just didn't know what to do with it, and they just never played the games. They just didn't know the history. They just made up their own shit for the Halo universe, which made no fucking sense. And thankfully, it was canceled, it was canned, and they could fuck off. Next is The Acolyte. So yeah, I was pretty much done with Disney Star Wars way before this, after Kenobi. I think I was done pretty much after Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian Season 3. Yeah, that was really the tipping point for me. Because, yeah, that was pretty boring for me. I mean, I liked it, but it was just it was so mid. It was not that great. And I'm not expecting anything from Mandalorian season 4. But yeah, that was kind of like my end point for me. But I did a video on this, The Acolyte, and lo and behold, I was right. You know, that it would just end up being like a failure, and nobody would like it. Some people would like it, but and plus it's made by a Harvey Weinstein defender, and you know, that's the fact that she could make a TV show like this, like just so hokey, so dumb, and just so unoriginal, poorly written in every facet. They just like to blow money over there in Disney, and thankfully it failed. It's not gonna have a season 2. I don't know why they were thinking that, like, yeah, we'll have multiple seasons. No, nobody wants this shit. Nobody wants this shit, and thankfully it was canceled. I'm just surprised it was just even made and poorly put together like this. But it's just, lo and behold, they just still put something out like that. So my worst TV show of 2024 is The House of the Dragon season 2. Season 1 I enjoyed. I really enjoyed. I thought this would start off something good with, you know, Game of Thrones, a resurrection of sorts. But House of the Dragon season 2 destroyed all that. It absolutely destroyed it. I think people want to give shit about Game of Thrones from like season 7 to season 8. That's when it fell. For me, it was season 8. Season 7 I enjoyed. I still really enjoyed. Game of Thrones seasons 1 to 7 I really enjoyed. But season 8 is just like, yeah, I was done at that point. But House of the Dragon kind of resurrected a lot of interest, and I was kind of curious, so I watched season 1. I really enjoyed it. House of the Dragon season 2, my goodness, was that a falling point. I know they had like a different writers, and I think the original writers actually were fired or something. I don't know the exact reason, but it really showed, because this one was just, it was complete filler. It went fucking nowhere. Minimal action. I thought this would actually set up for some big battles and something to happen. There was like only one real battle that you actually see. The other battles are like in the background or something. But this was a complete waste, because it ended up being a filler. And I thought this would kind of be like season 2, just to kind of complete House of the Dragon, because House of the Dragon, I think the book itself is pretty short. It's not really like a big book in itself. So the fact that they want to drag this on for like, I think 4 seasons or 5 seasons makes no fucking sense. So they're trying to put some, like, this is a complete filler. So is season 3 going to be filler, or is that going to be action? Because season 1 did the same thing, where in the end it was setting up for action. Season 2, you don't get to see fuck all. Season 2, in the end, it's setting up for big action. But will it do fuck? I mean, it will probably do fuck all for season 3. Who knows? But yeah, I'm not expecting anything from House of the Dragon anymore. They failed massively with season 2. And we'll see how they do with season 3. Maybe there'll be some massive changes. I highly doubt it at this point. But we'll see with, season 3. I think it's probably going to come out like 2026 at this point. I'd be surprised if it comes out this year, 2025. But yeah, they really want to stretch out House of the Dragon now with multiple seasons, which makes no fucking sense. It's actually a really short arc anyway. So what more can they do with this? Or are they going to make shit up now at this point? But yeah, easily my worst TV show this year. And that concludes my 2024 list. Next, I will work on is an announcement video of what you guys can expect for me for 2025. So look forward to that down the road when that comes out. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to please like this video, comment down below, tell me your best and worst list in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel, Django Fett, if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.